Hi, it's Carl Brower, and I'm standing next to the 2025 Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid. Now, if that sounds like a mouthful, well, it is. It's a lot to say, but it's also a lot to talk about because this car has a wide range of features and capabilities. We know Porsche has been making the sedan, the Panamera, for well over 10 years now. It's been well received as a performance car and a capable sports car, despite the fact that it is a sedan. We're impressed by this one's performance. And as the name implies, this is a hybrid and combines a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8 engine that makes 670 horsepower, or in this Turbo S form, 771 horsepower. And that's good for a 0 to 60 time of below 3 seconds, which is pretty impressive. And this is actually a plug-in hybrid, so you can plug it in and get a certain amount of distance on pure electric before the engine fires up. I don't really think this is designed for fuel efficiency. I think this one is meant for acceleration and performance, but it does have both those drivetrains coming together. I remember when I first drove this car over 15 years ago and was really surprised at how well it handled, even as a Porsche sedan on a road like Mulholland where I drove it. And this one is only more powerful and more capable after a decade and a half of evolution, and you really feel it in this vehicle. It weighs about 5,000 pounds or a little more, depending on how it's equipped, and yet it doesn't feel like a overweight or heavy sedan that can't go around corners. Porsche has stayed true to its mantra to make the car capable in spite of the weight, and what it really feels like is like this kind of bank vault, almost kind of like a Mercedes S-Class with very aggressive driving dynamics, especially if you start to turn the trademark Porsche knob on the steering wheel toward one of the more performance-oriented driving modes. It does have an adaptive suspension and it can change that up. Now, this car costs almost $200,000 as a starting point, and it goes above that when you start equipping them, and it's got a lot of technology. So beyond the adaptive suspension and all the performance in that drivetrain, it's also got a very plush interior loaded with a lot of technology. That includes things like a 10.9-inch central touchscreen and an optional 10.9-inch passenger touchscreen. We're seeing that more common in these premium cars where they're starting to up their game by giving passengers a dedicated touchscreen right above the glove box, and this one's got that option on it. So you get in the car, you feel like it's instantly a luxury car, and it's quiet and vault-like you want in a premium, high-priced luxury car. And then you come on a street like this, a road like Angeles Crest Highway, and you start to realize it's also a very capable handling car. As it should be, right? It's a Porsche, and whether they're building 2-seat sports cars or 2-row SUVs, or in this case, an extremely roomy, high-end luxury sedan, they're all gonna have that Porsche DNA, and they're gonna reflect it when you're going around corners. I'm super impressed with this car. I'm glad that Porsche is finding a way to transition into the kind of hybrid world, and especially the plug-in hybrid world, because I think that's the future. I really hope that they don't go all electric, because I don't think the world's ready for that yet. And I like the idea of an all-electric Macan, but I also like the idea of more options. And I think this is the best, honest solution at this point in time, given the technology. Give me a V8 that has some personality and some soul and can go fast from, say, 60 to over 100 miles an hour. If you want to pair it with an electric motor that gives me incredible 0 to 60 times like this car's got, all the better. And if it's a plug-in and I can get theoretically some all-electric range and better fuel efficiency, that's better still. I think that's where they've come up with a great recipe for this car, and I'm glad I got to drive it, and I hope to see more cars like this from Porsche in the future. Because you just can't have too much Porsche Panamera, I'm now driving the GTS version after experiencing the Turbo SE Hybrid. And this one is a fascinating study in compare contrast, right? Not only is the color different from the other one, but everything about the drivetrain is different. This is a 100% naturally aspirated vehicle. There is no hybrid activity going on. And the result is that it weighs less, and it costs less, and it makes more noise. And it makes a fabulous noise that I just love. Yeah, this is the one you really want if you're going to be going around corners more than going in a straight line. The engine, of course, sounds fabulous, but the real key is you can feel the weight and the fact that this one's lighter than the Turbo SE Hybrid. So while this one's got lower horsepower figures, it doesn't feel slow. If anything, it feels just as quick in a straight line and more responsive and nimble around a corner. This would be my choice if I was going to be buying a Panamera for sure. I'm a big fan of hybrids, and I think they work well in the right circumstance, but I'm even a bigger fan of a great exhaust note and of light, nimble handling. And you can feel the lighter weight that this car has. I gotta tell you, if I'm going for Porsche Panamera, as much as I am respect and am impressed by the Turbo SE hybrid, I'm going GTS if I'm gonna buy mine. This thing is fabulous. The noises it makes, really something that is engaging. And if you're looking for the four-door sports car version of the 911, this is the one you want.